Voting for the Queensland state election 2020 is well underway. People are very keen to get in on the early voting. And there's certainly a lot of candidates to weigh up. In our region, there's 37 candidates vying for your vote. And so you can get to know a bit about them. ABC Hervey Bay has invited all candidates for a quick-fire 3-question chat. Each candidate is allowed just 30 seconds to answer each question. And so far, we've heard candidates for Byrnes, Bundaberg, Callide, Gympie and Maryborough. Last one left is Hervey Bay.
We are in a unique time in our lives.
This election is all about who you trust.
Retiring MP Ted Sorensen has been the LNP member for Hervey Bay since 2009, and it's considered a safe LNP seat. So whatever happens, there'll be a new face in state parliament representing Hervey Bay after this election. The margin to the LNP is 9.1%. The electorate includes Point Vernon, Aroween, Pyalba, Scarness, Torquay and Fraser Island. Interesting fact, the seat of Hervey Bay was traditionally known as Isis. Hervey Bay Votes 2020 on ABC Wide Bay.
Yes, and there are 6 candidates lining up for this one. All candidates were contacted to take part. Not all responded, so let's go through them in ballot paper order. Number 1, Steve Coleman, LNP candidate. Steve Coleman, what made you put your hand up to become candidate for Hervey Bay?
Well, because Hervey Bay is a great place to live, and I've lived here for a fair few years now. And being a local business person right here in Hervey Bay, I appreciate the tough times that local businesses go through. And I just want to be part of the community and be able to help the community along. I've got the business background, which is going to help support the businesses, but I can also see the failing system and politics that the Labor government have failed in with our health system, and I really want to be able to do the right thing by Hervey Bay residents.
Okay, question number 2. What do you see as the main issue coming into this state election 2020?
Okay, well, the main issue right here in Hervey Bay, obviously, is our health system, which the waiting list is just completely blown out of proportion. We had a meeting with Deb Fricklington that was in Hervey Bay, and we met up with a number of retired people right here in Hervey Bay that can't even hardly get on the waiting list. And the ones that have just got on the waiting list, they're told 365 days wait. Now, this is completely out of control, so LNP's plan is to partner with the private hospital system and completely crush the waiting list. So that's the plan we want to do. We've got 1,430 people currently on the waiting list right here in the Wide Bay.
Have to stop it there because that's your 30 seconds, okay? And the final question, which I will draw out of the Joker's hat for you, is during your school years, what did you want to be when you were all grown up?
Well, I actually wanted to be a fireman, so, I thought sort of running around putting out fires, but I wasn't really up to that fit standard, so here I am as a politician.
So that's number 1 on the ballot paper, Steve Coleman, LNP candidate. Number 2 is Damian Huxham, Pauline Hanson's One Nation. Damian Huxham, what made you put your hand up to be candidate for Hervey Bay?
Good question, Dave. Not much has changed since the last election. Only everything we said that was going to go up has happened. I'm still very passionate about the region, and I believe the region has got an untapped potential, and I'd like to see a long-term vision for Hervey Bay. That's why we've consulted council to come up with shovel-ready products post-COVID that we can jump straight into to generate employment within Hervey Bay. Still disillusioned with both major parties, sick of alternating back and forwards, and want to be a part of something different.
Question number 2, what do you see as the main issue for this election?
The main issues, I think, they're replicated throughout the regions within Queensland. Unemployment's still very high. A few of the things that I want to do are in line with our long-term vision for Hervey Bay. So like the Marina Master Plan is something that I would like to see go ahead so that they can work out what we're actually going to do down that area. We've got some road upgrades, some bits of infrastructure and so forth that we want to get out shortly. Youth unemployment is very high.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's your 30 seconds. We'll have to leave that there. Okay. And for the final question, which is the Joker out of the hat, your question for that is...
give me a good one.
During your school years, what did you want to be when you were all grown up?
Oh, to be totally honest, I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. I didn't really think that far ahead. I just gave everything I did 100%.
That's number 2 on the ballot paper, Damian Huxham, candidate for Pauline Hanson's One Nation. At number 3 for Hervey Bay is Adrian Tantari, Australian Labor Party, did not respond to take part in this segment. Number 4 on the ballot paper is Amy Byrnes from the Animal Justice Party. Amy Byrnes, what made you throw your hat in the ring for this?
I am running in this election because I would like to see better laws for the animals and environment. Unfortunately, the major parties aren't listening to the changes I and so many others want to see here in Hervey Bay.
Okay, and the main issue as we go into the state election 2020, what do you think it is?
Here in Hervey Bay, there's a lot of issues that the animals are facing. Firstly, the kangaroos are losing their homes from all the construction around the bay. Seabirds and marine life are also in danger of being entangled or hooked. This is caused from the lack of education and bins in fishing areas. Unfortunately, we had a case here in Hervey Bay where a poor mother had 2 hooks stuck in her neck, and sadly she didn't make it. I just think that wildlife rescuers also need to be supported for the hard work they do, but I'm also for the people as well.
Okay, and finally the Joker question. I'll pull the Joker question out of the Joker's hat. And for you, the question is, as a teen, who did you have a poster of on the wall?
Well, I don't think I had a poster of anyone. I probably just had some posters of animals and nature on the wall.
Number 4 on the ballot paper for Hervey Bay, Amy Byrnes, Animal Justice Party. At number 5 is Sonia Gerdson from the Greens, did not respond to take part in this segment. And finally, number 6 on the ballot paper for Hervey Bay is Stuart Taylor, Independent. Stuart Taylor, what made you put your hand up to be candidate for Hervey Bay?
David, I think I'm the most capable, competent and qualified candidate in this race, without question. I've served as a police officer, a prosecutor, and 2 terms on the Fraser Coast Regional Council as a councillor and also deputy mayor. I'm actually ready to lead, and to me, this election will be the closest in a generation. And Hervey Bay needs a candidate who is willing to be a strong voice for our community, someone who is willing to put the people before politics. And to me, there is a freedom that independence brings. That's an advantage. It's the checks and balances that are missing from a state without a Senate or an upper house. So for me, I think I'm
that's
most qualified.
All right, that's your 30 seconds, Stuart. Thanks for that. Question number 2, what do you see as really the main issue in this election?
If you live in Hervey Bay, you shouldn't have to wait to see your local GP. You shouldn't have to wait for a bed if you need to go to hospital, and your kids shouldn't have to go to overcrowded schools. We need to expect better, and we should expect better. Our kids should have a quality children's ward at the Hervey Bay Hospital, and we need to fix the skills shortage. When I speak to business owners, they tell me that the biggest issue is they have jobs, but they don't have the skills to fill them. There is a skills crisis, and we need to fix that through traineeships and apprenticeships.
Okay, and to the final question drawn out of the Joker's hat, and that is for you. As a teen, who did you have a poster of on the wall?
Who did I have a poster? I have to admit I was a Michael Jackson fan. I had a number of posters off the wall, Billie Jean, all those greats. I loved Michael Jackson, particularly when he was in the Jackson 5.
There you go, doing the moonwalk. Number 6 on the ballot paper is Stuart Taylor, Independent, candidate for Hervey Bay. And that wraps up the candidates for the Queensland State Election 2020. This is ABCY Bay. It's 13 to 9.